Hello, Texas Rangers fans. It's Chris with a positive C here with another edition of Texas Rangers Daily. It's the first Texas Rangers Daily of the offseason as the Rangers ended their season against the Cleveland Guardians with a loss on Sunday. We'll go over that entire series leading off. Then we have the final rankings where the players and team rank among the American League and the Major League Baseball in a few different statistical categories. We're going to continue our breakdown of the 2025 season by going over May, seeing where the Rangers fell off during the beginning of summer, end of spring, and then we'll, tackle the free agents to be on the Texas Rangers. They're all pitchers. The lineup is going to have to be moved around through trade. So expect a little bit of that to be happening. But first things first, we will wrap up and not only wrap up the season, yes, and wrap up the game, the series that just happened with Cleveland. We'll tie both of those up in a little bow right here because Friday started off like you wanted the final series of a season like this to go. It seemed like there was fight, seemed like there was fire. Seems like people were, not just playing, to finish out a season. Seems like they were actually playing for pride, and pride means a lot. Alejandro Osuna, home run, 3 RBIs. Cody Freeman, 3 hits, 1 run scored, 2 RBIs. And Jack Leiter just made me look like I have no idea what I'm talking about, which, comment below if you think that might be true. But he made me look kind of dumb with the way he's been pitching. As I've said, I don't have a belief in that he's a for sure third starter for this team, but he's looking like he needs to be the one that's going right after, DeGrom and Evaldi next year. So good job on Jack Leiter's part. Saturday, not so great. Not such a great thing. Because if you're going to lose a game, losing a game, I guess, to knock the Astros out of playoff contention for most Rangers fans, that's going to be a really good thing. That's going to be a positive in the long run for him, right? But the way you lost on a hit batter, it just makes the season seem just so fluky in general, but also makes it seems right on with what this team has become, and it's just it boggles the mind that a Rangers team with so much promise at the beginning of the year could the penultimate game ends on a hit batsman, a walk off hits batsman. Okay, and 6 through 9. Through the order went like 2 for 15 or something like that in the game. You won't be able to win any games if the bottom of the order only has 2 hits through all those at bats. That's just not going to work. Jacob Latz, he's been exactly the way he's been all season. He went 5 1/3, so he pitched into the 6 Ks. No walks, 2 earned runs, just a solid outing for Jacob Latz. And Adolis Garcia got a home run. He's the king of home runs when it kind of doesn't matter. We're probably going to see a change with Adolis, I believe, unless, the money is correct and the money works, then Adolis could be back in some kind of diminished role. I don't think should be looked at as the number 4 hitter, but he could be back, most likely not. And then Sunday, the final game, another walk-off issue, a 3-run home run in the 10th. And so that was a bad bullpen day. The bullpen gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. But Berger, 2 RBIs. Osuna, 2 RBIs. Osuna would be your player of the whole weekend and might be. It seems like he might be the one of the little rascals that is going to play his way onto the team next year from the end of this year. I don't know about Hellman. I know that Jared Sandler was really high on Hellman. He seemed to fall off towards the end of this little run, while Osuna did pick it up. Cody Freeman also picked it up as well, too. And so wrapping up this year, just based off the last series, is their microcosms of the issues throughout the year, the back end of the bullpen was bad. The bottom of the lineup was bad. The middle of the lineup has been bad. You're only getting production sometimes from two people consistently throughout a series. That's not gonna be winning baseball. And I'm really glad that the Rangers, especially Chris Young, have come out and said they realize that changes need to happen, and maybe the change will happen. And we are going to change right now. We're going to change it up, give you a little ranking file here for the 2025 Texas Rangers, and some of these numbers. Just be prepared. Be prepared. And if you're noticing the whiteboard isn't filled out right now, that's because when I do the free agents, I'm going to write down the names of the free agents that I think that the Rangers should keep and like definitely keep. I'm going to write them down there. That's why it's blank. You know, usually got something good for the Mondays. It might be a blank slate Monday. Let's call it a blank slate Monday. It's the off season. Blank slate Monday. All right. So the home run leaders for the Texas Rangers this year, Wyatt Langford, who ended the season pretty poorly, 22 home runs, and Seager, 21 home runs. Garcia, 19. What I meant to say was Langford ending the season on disabled list, right? Injured. He was done. Oblique. Yes, duh. I was like, wait a second. Duh, Chris. Yeah, oblique injury took Langford out. Seager, it was the hamstring or the appendectomy for Seager. So the two home run leaders didn't even finish the year. And then Adolis Garcia. The team ranked 12th in the American League and 18th in Major League Baseball in home runs. RBI leader this year, Adolis Garcia, who seems to be the RBI leader every year, even if he's struggling, which... Again, if the money's right, that's good to have a guy who can get 70 RBIs, but that's probably like a good 7th place hitter. So, yeah, man, Adolis, if he was just hitting 7th on the lineup of boppers, he'd be great. But Wyatt Langford, 62, Simeon, 62, and Josh Young with 61 RBIs. That is not where he should be. He, again, should probably be where Garcia is or more when it comes to the potential that we thought Josh Young was going to have. They ranked 8th in the American League in RBIs and 19th in the Major League Baseball in RBIs. All right, on base plus slugging. Everyone loves OPS. Wyatt Langford hit 775. Josh Smith was number 2 with a 701 OPS, and Josh Young 784. I would think the league average is like 750. I think I gotta recheck that. So everybody below the league average in OPS. They rank 13th in the American League. Not good. 24th in Major League Baseball. Definitely not good. And in batting average, people don't like batting average as much anymore. I love batting average. I think it's a very true and tried statistic, which all statistics are analytics. Let's get that out of the way real quick. All right, Josh Young, Josh Smith both hit 251, so really no one hitting even above 260, which I think is embarrassing for a team. And Wyatt Langford hitting 241. They ranked 12th in the American League, 26th in all of Major League Baseball in batting average. The pitching, this is where you can smile. In fact, you know what? Put a smile on your face for pitching. There we go. See that smiley face right there? That is what everyone should feel when you talk about the Texas Rangers pitching this year. You should feel just like this guy. Because, look at this. DeGrom, 297 ERA. Valdi, 173. Malley, 218. Jacob Latz, 284. Jack Leiter, who struggled at different points in times, but really got it together, 386. This is where I don't like it, because Merrill Kelly is a 427. He was brought here to be a lot better than a 427 ERA. Patrick Corbin, 440. I don't mind that. And then Kumar Rocker, 574. Those were the players. Those were the pitchers that had the most starts. So those were the ERAs that they had for the end of the year, which came out to a team best ERA of 3.47. So they had the best team ERA, the best WHIP, the second best batting average against. They were 9th in home runs and 6th in shutouts. This was the best pitching staff in franchise history, hands down. In fact, I'm going to break down a few different pitching staffs in franchise history that I think could, battle it. And then we're going to compare and contrast how good this pitching staff was all year long. Bullpen had a few bright spots, especially Cole Winn, 151 ERA, and Sean Armstrong, 231 ERA, and no one had double-digit saves, so that was an issue because there wasn't a closer. And like Jacob Webb, again, a 3 ERA, great as out of the bullpen, because sometimes those ERAs can fluctuate high because of one or two bad outings. But keeping it around a 3 is really good. Robert Garcia, you look at the number 2.95 ERA, you would think, oh, that's a really good year. But when we needed him to be more than I think he could, he definitely didn't live up to that. He definitely didn't push himself forward, basically, and above and beyond. So that sucks. But yeah, this is the best pitching staff in franchise history. So you wonder where things just went wrong. If we, but I guess you don't really wonder, because the lineup was so poor this year, just absolutely. The word atrocious is too strong, because if you look at the rankings, they're not last in a lot of things, but still, it was bad, especially for the Rangers, especially for the tradition of the Rangers, which is a offensive franchise. It was bad, and it was bad around May. May wasn't good. Okay, May started. This is our breakdown of the 2025 season. We're going into May. We're going month by month. May started the month outscored for the first 3 games 18-2, and that was one of those moments where they were coming out of Oakland into Seattle, I believe. They lost the first game in Seattle, and it was like, wow, what is this offense? What even is this offense? And it was the first time that I think a lot of the pundits out there started really doubting that these guys could turn around. Even though it was early, that was the beginning of the chatter of, I know this is starting out the same kind of way that, some other seasons have gone, but wow, this is looking like this is not going to turn around at all. And so they went overall this month 12-16. That's not good, but they did not get swept. So it was one of these things where you had 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, all these different kind of things, but it never really got to the point to where they were losing this elongated they didn't have an elongated losing streak. They had an elongated winning streak, but elongated losing streak they kind of avoided too. But what they did was they would lose a couple, win, and then lose a couple more out of a series. It was go look at it. It's weird. So they fired their hitting coach in May 5th, actually, and then hired Brett Boone. They fired Donnie Eckert, hired Brett Boone. They had a really good stretch after that, from May 10th to May 15th. They had a nice little winning streak, and then they won out of the next 7 out of the next 10 games. But after winning 2 out of 3 in Houston, they go over their next 2 series 500 and proceed to lose 8 out of the next 10. But again, never getting swept, always coming out of the series and being able to get a win just out of nowhere, and then it looking bad again. So it was an interesting month. The people that kind of made the month go bad and good, Josh Young hit 265, 75. What did I write down? I have no. Sorry. Oh, 750. Oh my gosh, I can't read. I try to write the old-fashioned way on these and not use a computer. I need to probably start using a computer, because man, sometimes I just can't write. 750 OPS, and in 5 home runs. Just having a pretty good month, pretty solid month. But that's not what they needed. They needed somebody to really take on the life of the offense and really push it forward, because no one else did it. Because Wyatt Langford hit 189, 5 home runs, 34 strikeouts. Adolis Garcia an OPS of 558 with 29 strikeouts. And Marcus Semien hit 207 with 25 strikeouts. They were striking out a lot, and they were not hitting for power. It just was not going right. But the pitching, this is probably the best pitching month of the entire year when it comes to the numbers. An ERA of 3.09. Eovaldi had a 6.8 ERA, not a 6.8, a .68, with a .867 whoop. Jacob deGrom, 2.08 ERA, 3-1 that month with a .923 whip. I like doing a whip it. And then Holby. I keep wanting to call him Colby. It's Holby, I think. Oh my gosh, I've seen it and said it, but right now, Milner, Jackson, Martin, boom, got it. All out of the bullpen. Gave a little bit of like false hope that there was that could be a little bit of a, all right, this bullpen's gonna roll into shape, right, and kind of get itself together. It did not. It sadly did not. And coming out of May, it just seemed like you could have. So coming out of May, you were 3 games under 500. Coming out of April, you were 1 game under 500. 2-game difference. You were just sliding. And it didn't get better until another month after this. And so, yeah, it's interesting how the season went along, and you can kind of tell early on that it wasn't going to be something that was going to end well. But you had this kind of hope. You had this little bit of hope because they didn't get swept that whole month. Oh, man. All right. And then moving right along to our last portion of the show, free agents. Should I erase him? He looks happy. So does this guy. This guy looks happy too. His name is Tyler Mahle. He's one of the free agents to be for the Texas Rangers. Every Ranger free agent this year is a pitcher. That shows me the faith that Chris Young had in this lineup to be something for a few years to come, because he's got them all locked up. So we'll start out with John Gray. John Gray, I say John Gray's got to go. He's had a very nice career. He keeps getting hurt, and I think the Rangers need to go away from hurt players. I think that's an issue right now, is our lineup and our pitching staff is full of people that, like Cody Bradford, John Gray, Evaldi, even though he's not going anywhere, he gets hurt a lot. It's full of hurt guys. Mahle needed not have hurt guys anymore. Mally's next. I have kind of come around on Mahle over the weekend, doing a little bit of dive on the numbers and seeing what he could possibly do. And he's only 30. That was the thing that put me in the thought process of maybe go ahead and give him the money. I have to worry about his health a little bit though. So okay. Go ahead, and if Mally's numbers are right when it comes to the money, bring him back. If he's wanting a lot of cash, you got it. You go. Sorry. Patrick Corbin. Again, it's all about the numbers at that point in time. He's getting older. Do you think that he can replicate this season again? If he can replicate this season again, I'm totally fine with him being a back end of the rotation guy and being a spot starter. Totally okay. And apparently they want to try him into bullpen, so we'll see what happens with that. Merrill Kelly. I say goodbye to Merrill Kelly. Merrill Kelly came here in the trade deadline deal that should have put us in a position to... If Merrill Kelly, I firmly believe this, pitches up to the potential that he was supposed to have, I think the Rangers are in the playoffs, because there's a few games where I think Merrill Kelly himself had lost these games in a pitcher's way. And so, if he turns that around and pitches, lights out and is a lead dog in the rotation, I think the end of the season's a lot different. So bye Merrill Kelly. Phil Maton. Again, a guy who's a little older, came over in a trade line deal. I don't see a future in the Rangers, especially because the Rangers love mixing out the bullpen. Holby Milner. There we go. Holby Milner. I like Hobie. I think that Hobie kind of fits a little bit of what the Rangers like to keep around whenever they keep things in the bullpen. He's one of those very consistent. You can pitch him a couple days in a row, guys, and I think that's really where the Rangers succeed, is keeping guys like that around. Chris Martin, say goodbye. Arlington native, you might as well retire and just hang out in Arlington. You're already there. Danny Coulombe. Again, a guy coming over in a trade deadline deal. I don't think we keep any of the trade deadline guys. I think those were hired guns. I think they waved bye-bye. And then Sean Armstrong, yes, keep Sean Armstrong. Again, a guy you can pitch multiple days in a row. You could start strong. I'm going to call him Strong. Armstrong, Sean Armstrong. You can start him. And so, yeah, definitely keep Armstrong around. Definitely keep Milner around. And probably Malley. I think everybody else can walk. Let's use some of that money to get some kind of bat and then work on trades. Work on trades. So again, that kind of makes me think maybe that whole idea of there being a lot of pitching depth, that might not be true, because a lot of the pitching depth that we think is there right now, they're all free agents. But we'll tackle more of that here on Texas Rangers Daily. Like, subscribe, share amongst everyone. Good people at Fan Arts, thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow with Fun Tuesday. We're going to have a good time. And for the rest of the week, for the rest of the year, and all the hot stove stuff, everything you can ask for the off season here at Texas Rangers Daily. See you soon. Manawia, and stay gold, Pony Boy.